I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One radio network. Lions general manager Brad Holmes said that quarterback Jared Goff has earned the right for a new deal and calls it a high priority for the team. Goff led the Lions to their first ever NFC North title last year, and they hosted a playoff game for the first time since the 1993 season. The Giants signed veteran wideout Allen Robinson. He played in Pittsburgh last season, starting all 17 games and notching 34 catches for 280 yards. The 30-year-old joins his fourth team in as many years and the fifth of his career. Second-year Titans quarterback Will Levis said he and new head coach Brian Callahan have watched a lot of Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, and even Peyton Manning to kick off the installation period. Levis saying, quote, "I'm looking to be the next one." He started 9 games last season, throwing 8 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
What's going on? 6 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans have begun the process of signing their draft picks. The team announced yesterday 4 of their selections from the last month have signed. 5th-round pick cornerback Jarvis Brownlee, 6th-round wide receiver Jaquan Jackson, and the 2 7th-round picks safety James Williams and Jalen Harrell. Brian Callahan spoke to the media yesterday after rookie minicamp and had this to say about what position the Titans could still be targeting in free agency.
Yeah, there's definitely room to add, and those conversations are ongoing. You know, there's still players out there where the free agency isn't over, and there's still conversations with agents, conversations with players. That stuff continues. So we're looking to add an edge down there. We need guys that can play with some physicality, that they look and sound like Denard. As you guys listen to Denard, that's what we're looking for.
NBA playoffs with the Cavs tying the series up with the Celtics, winning 118-94. Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley combining for 50 points. And the Mavs laying their first loss on the Thunder in the playoffs. Thunder had lost as the playoffs started, 119-110. Luka and P.J. Washington both had 29-point double-doubles. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Friday morning, and we are about to act like it on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW is brewed up by 8th and Roast. 615-737-1045. How you celebrate the end of the work week with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh making the show happen. My name is Will Bowling. It is Friday, and around these parts, our creed, our motto, our pledge to you, the people of beautiful Music City, USA, and around the world is that it is Friday, and we're going to act like it.
Get him, Will.
Tell him, Chuck.
Yeah.
Let's go. There it is.
Yeah.
We were missing that for a while.
Come on, man.
What else, Chuck?
Hey, what we gonna do? And what else, Chuck? You know how many people I have come up to us is like, how do y'all do that so early in the morning? It's like, hey, take the surprise out of your
Right?
voice.
Do what?
we
Wake
do.
up?
Yeah.
Have energy.
Yeah, have energy, talk live, have
Yeah.
a good time at 6 a.m., man.
Special people.
Hey, we're gremlins out here. It's
Fake
cool.
it till you make it. That's how you do it.
Yeah. It is so true on that
Kind of
one,
like
man.
Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft on the roast. Fake it till you make it up there.
Fake it till you make it. I
Taking a
heard
shot
that was just
together.
crazy stuff right there, man.
How we doing?
Good.
Good. I did feel like I actually was late this morning because I walked out the door and it was really, really, really light. And I said, are we in hour 6 a.m. instead of 5-ish? So I actually had to look at my clock a couple times.
Just to make sure you weren't late like you were dreaming or something still. This morning I went and worked out. Went and did that thing this morning, man.
Wow.
Walked the Stairmaster with my guy this morning, man. Gershom, man. Both of us was trying to tackle it, get it going. You know, you have a conversation with somebody who's like, hey, trying to do this? It was like, all right, you serious? Yeah, I'm serious too. And we got 25 minutes on the Stairmaster this morning. So
Y'all race each other on the Stairmaster?
I'm a little geek. No, it wasn't no race. I promise you, it wasn't no race this morning. Both of us was like, Lord, what is this? But that's the maximum amount of sweat. That's a good, I think I burned maybe 400 plus calories or something this morning, according to the watch. It was pretty solid, though. Gym wasn't packed and crazy, Will. Good people there early in the morning.
No Instagram people?
I didn't see a single one.
Fridays are always more crowded, too.
Yeah. In the afternoon.
At my gym, they are.
At the gym. Yeah, I can see it. Trying to get right before the weekend. Power hour coming up. You know what I'm saying? How was your day, Will?
It was good.
It was solid?
Yep.
Cool.
Getting ready for Nashville SC and Charlotte FC this weekend. We got 4 Nashville SC broadcasts in a span of 2 weeks. So that'll be good.
Oh, yeah. Busy.
So it's about to crank up for soccer right now.
Yeah, there's a game Saturday and then Wednesday and then Saturday, then Wednesday.
God, dog.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, good luck, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is SC kind of finding its way a little?
They broke a 5-game winless streak over the weekend, 4-1 over CF Montreal. So hoping that is the spark for the summer stretch of games. But their bye week is June 8th, so they have got plenty of opportunities to get right.
You're right.
And they started to get right last weekend.
It's good stuff.
I went on a bike ride yesterday, too, by the way, on the trail.
Jeez, mister. Let's get
There's
physical.
a picture of health out here.
I know. Bill of Health.
Picture of hell. What's wrong with you, Will? No, what on one yesterday, I've said I'm being active every single day. It's one of the things you'll get. Like, we all say we're busy, right? And I'm like, I got to continue to carve out time for working out and cardio and stuff like that. So I rode the bike yesterday evening, too, waiting on my kid. What do parents 35 to 45 do? Wait on their kids in cars, okay? That is rule number one. You're going to be doing it, so I got to get this boy driving quick, okay? But I took my bike out to his school and rode the trail.
There you go.
Almost scared the heebie-jeebies out of me, okay? One, the water's up everywhere. Have y'all seen the river out here, too?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's high.
It's like above the stairs, whatever that little park or plaza is called.
Crazy.
That goes all the way down to the river.
You've seen it like that before, though, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, 2010.
Okay.
And there were a lot of places like that.
I didn't realize it was that high back behind. All the creeks are up, too. So when all the creeks are up, what happens to the reptiles?
They come out.
They come out of the water.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Is this a snake story you're about to?
Yes, it is.
What?
I know. Hey,
It's too early to talk about snakes.
I'm gonna say it. I saw it. He was up sunbathing, and I rolled right past. I sped up.
Did you roll over him? Did you kill him?
My wife did yesterday.
Good.
She killed the snake?
Keisha, thank you.
It was one of them in a row. She didn't do it. It got injured, and she didn't see it on the way back.
He put himself underneath my tire. I don't know what happened.
I would swerve out of the way.
He said, my
Put
life
myself
is
in danger to
now.
end the life of a snake. There's a reason why he was originally literally Satan. Like, I don't know why we glorify animals that were literally the devil when the earth began. So let's just get that out of the way first.
We need black snakes, though.
No,
Black
we
snake,
do not.
They knock the rats
Wait, now
down.
this is a race thing?
No. We are very much important in society, all right? With that being said, what I will say is this. I think it was a black snake on the trail yesterday, and he was just sunbathing. The one in the road yesterday,
sunbathing.
It was. I mean,
We're
it's got to
looking for someone
warm.
to kill.
It was ran out of his encampment. Is what I'm. He said,
Was he big?
Somebody to kill. It may have been about like 18 inches long. It was a small one.
Okay.
About average.
That's not bad. Oh, my God.
I hate that
I know
so
exactly
much.
where you're going every time.
You're me. That was to Bert behind the glass. But I was trying to warn a lady on the track. Like, warn a brother. I was trying to warn a lady this time. And she's like, I saw it earlier. I was like, oh, you are brave. She was walking. And when I came back, it wasn't there anymore. But I'm sure a lot of reptiles are getting pushed out right now. Well, sorry to happen to ruin your morning this morning. But I couldn't have ran
If
it
you
over
know
with
me,
my bike.
the thing I hate the most in the world is snakes.
Yeah.
More than anything on earth. Like, I can't watch a video on my phone without getting like the heebie-jeebies. Like, I hate them.
Let me tell y'all something real quick. Ain't nothing with no arms gonna whoop my ass. Ain't nothing with no arms gonna whoop my ass. Get your old noodle ass over here. Let me do like Hulk did Loki and wham, 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 wham.
You would grab the back of it, Bert, and just twirl it around.
What's he gonna do? Get off me! Get off me!
Swing it like a helicopter.
He can't create no distance.
That's so true.
I've worn one big one on my neck before.
Have you?
The
Like a boa?
pet ones, yeah.
On purpose?
I did it last summer also. I did. We were in
when I was
Puerto
a
Rico.
What is your irrational fear?
Spiders.
Really?
Any kind of spider.
I can live with spiders.
Not me.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what it is about them. They're creepy. They're crawly. I feel like when I see it on the wall, it's going to get into my clothes or something.
I feel that.
See,
Or
you
my
need
bed.
them too. They knock the skeeters down.
I know
do.
they do. They're just so gross.
Get rid of all them mosquitoes because every
Steve
time
Irwin back here.
I know.
Cheyenne always. No, I'm just
It's a
saying.
big one, ain't it?
I think
Crikey.
I don't
Creepy
like
crawling.
mosquitoes and I don't like rats. Keep them both out. And they ain't no animal that eats clowns. That's what I'm scared of. So
This
there was
is a
something
black
that ate clown.
snake.
Cheyenne, the other night, I thought somebody broke into the house. I'm talking. I'm upstairs and all I hear is.
Somebody just swerved out of their lane listening to us in their car.
I run downstairs because I'm thinking I'm about to have to
Be a man.
Be a man. You know what I mean? That's what she keeps me around for. And she's like, there is a spider. It dropped from the ceiling right in front of my face. That thing was this big. I ate it. I said, you want me to eat it?
You did not.
I said, I didn't. You can't even tell it was so tiny.
Oh,
I ate it.
I believe you.
I totally
my
I believe you
gosh.
did. I believe you did 100%.
They ain't
You ate
nothing.
it.
Some people don't like babies crying. I can't stand the noise of it. Ain't even women. It's Cheyenne screaming. I can't stand it. I would
There's
wish
some guys that scream that high too.
whatever she be screaming at, I wish it would just go ahead and get her sometime. Go ahead and get her.
Get her.
Get her.
My rational fear is mice, rats. Absolutely
Yeah, those are
terrified of
nasty.
them.
Very fair.
That and height stuff, like even watching like roller coasters on like TV and stuff, bothers
Oh, really?
the hell out of me.
That is my algorithm
gosh.
on social media is just first-person view roller coaster videos. I would ride any
really?
roller coaster in the world.
Oh no,
I love them so much.
You can get you a VR set. They have it so you
Yeah.
can do that. You can download like any coaster in the world. If you want to test it before you get on it.
Nice.
Oh.
I've done the 4D stuff at Disney and stuff like that. It's
it cool?
different. It makes me. Oh no,
Yeah.
Kayla, it's almost worse than the real thing.
Oh, it is?
Oh my god.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's not even a little
That's
bit.
it, because it
Okay.
can paint a reality for you that's like, what? I didn't even know that term was, especially if the machine moves, like Lil' Kim and stuff like that. Like, it is insane.
Lil' Kim.
Wait,
what kind
Lil'
of anime?
Kim, is that like-
What kind of ride are you
Wait,
on?
what ride is this?
Who is Lil' Kim?
See, I've done a rock and roller
Dang it,
coaster.
Will.
I haven't ever heard of no Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim ride on
Does she
the
do
side.
music
I've heard like rocking side to
Is
side.
P. Diddy a part of this?
No Diddy ever, okay?
All right, that's enough. 615-737-1045, and it's gone. Coming
Bad
up
boys.
this morning, Brent Hubbs of AllQuest at 7:20 for his weekly visit. Lots from the Titans press availability yesterday as they begin rookie minicamp practices today. Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 at 9:20. He'll talk some Tennessee Vanderbilt baseball as well as SEC baseball. Of course, Kayla on the call tonight for UT Vandy, so looking forward to that.
You on the call? You didn't even tell nobody. Come
I
on,
did
man.
She said earlier on the show
I
this
did
week.
this
Must
week.
not have been listening. Nah.
God, you sound like my
Freaking bum.
husband.
Hey, can you do me a favor and listen to someone that's not just the sound of your own voice? Thanks. 615-737-1045 is our number. What stood out the most from yesterday? Well, we know what Bill Callahan now wants to have in a tackle. We'll talk about that next.
It's Ramon Foster here for Wesley Mortgage. The website is whywesley.com, man. If you've ever run into Chuck McDowell, you'll know this about him. He's a local Nashville native, and you know we care about that, and he cares about his community and is proud to serve it. Chuck reinvests in the people and the places that make Nashville such a wonderful place. While other mortgage companies are downsizing, Chuck McDowell and the Wesley Mortgage team are rapidly expanding in Nashville, keeping people working in a career that they love, and they'd love to have you join their team, which is why I gave you the website earlier, okay? Chuck and the leadership team at Wesley Mortgage have a support system in place to help you succeed in the mortgage business, ensuring your loans close on time, making sure you get paid, giving you back the time to build your business, and bring back the fun to the mortgage profession. With unique networking opportunities with the Tennessee Titans and the Music City Grand Prix, they make closing deals and building relationships fun again. So if you're in the mortgage industry and you are tired of the grind, tired of the pressure, and tired of micromanaging everything to make sure your clients get handled correctly, then you owe it to yourself to go to whywesley.com.
Friday morning on remote, Kayla and Will is brewed up by 8 and Roast. 615-737-1045. Titans assistants talking to the media yesterday, in addition to Brian Callahan and Will Levis. Coming up at 7 o'clock, by the way, we've got another Mother's Day giveaway. If you are really behind and in the I'll pick up a card at Walgreens on my way to the family lunch category, we've got you covered. If you're caller 5, coming up at 7 o'clock.
If you're in the category of love your mama, but not enough to get her something before now, we've got you covered.
We've got you.
Got you covered, baby.
Coming up at 7. What stood out yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park is Will Levis, Brian Callahan, and assistant coaches talked to the media.
Bill Callahan, I mean, he was the story in terms of just assistance, right? We knew that was going to happen. I just loved how at ease he was in terms of answering every question under the sun that we had, asked him. And it's just like he's been doing it for years and years and years. And I think the biggest thing with him is when talking about what he wants out of an offensive line. And no, we're going to play the audio in a minute, but for me, it really was just physicality is non-negotiable, right? Like that is what he wants to see out of this offensive line, which means a lot of these guys are going to have to step up their game to be molded into what he expects them to be. So there's no free card coming into this situation. Like he might be 5'8" or 9. I'm giving him some inches there too, but he is you can tell he's a fiery guy who knows exactly what he wants. And man, he just comes with a wealth of knowledge, you guys. I could sit and listen to him for days.
Yeah. You can tell he's got some fire on him. As nice as he is to the media, is as hard as he's going to be on his guys. You ain't got to worry about an attitude. You can hear it. You can see it. Having been coached by a guy of that same ilk in Munchak, it was the exact same way with him. No nonsense type of talker. Fun to be around, but you're going to work. That's what I've heard guys say that's been around with Coach Bill Callahan. You're going to work. What stood out to me is, of course, Bill Callahan, and moving from there is Tyke Tober. Yeah. Acknowledging you can never have enough good players. Like, you can never have a good enough weapons. I mean, enough good weapons. I thought that was super unique hearing him say that. And also Tracy Rocker, speaking on Tavondre. It was calculated. It was professional. It was pointed directly at him, and his acknowledgement of it, like, man, I'm a big dude myself. I got a big son.
And
it
Kumar.
was super unique hearing him say and understanding, like, all right, it's cool. Like, this ain't a big deal to us. And I was just glad he was able to play that, because I love the idea that he's a big focus point of this draft class, because he's that type of talent. But let's see his play and see him get in shape before we start knocking, like, hey, the perception aspect of Tavondre Sweat.
And Tracy comes across as no nonsense, right? Like, this is a guy who he's going to be just as influential on the D-line as Bill Callahan is on the offensive line. He's got that little edge to him. I think it's going to be a really good fit for Tavondre.
He's got the respect factor. There was one more thing I had just in general, too, before we go more into audio. Right now, I think we're getting, I said this on 3HL yesterday, we're getting a very open and honest coaching staff. Yep. I feel like as much as they possibly can be, they are open. And as far as the fans saying, well, what are we doing? How are we doing? What's next? I just thought that was just, at some point, if you continue to drive home, like, well, did you give us that answer? Well, what about this answer? You're going to eventually start getting one-word answers in the media, and coach is going to start closing that door if everything's up for debate. Like the Traylon versus Boyd situation. I feel like they've answered that 2-3 times now, backed it up 2 or 3 times also, and it's still like, well, are you trading Traylon? It was, I don't know, he's open and honest now. You don't want him to go the other way to where we are closed off from actually hearing them, It's
a lot more transparent, and I'm not knocking any of the previous staffs, but because of the control factor, I think that was under Vrabel in terms of how he ran his program, and that's different. Everybody runs their programs different, or their teams different. This is a little more transparent. Hey, look, you be you as an assistant, and I feel like that's what has happened here, at least what we saw yesterday. And that then leaves little room for interpretation, which I think is so big, especially when you're kind of pushing the reset button.
It's been a while since we've had that here. Media loved Mike Mularkey. Very, very, very nice guy. Very good to all the people that were around the team. But I don't think Brian Callahan's press conferences could be more different from Mike Vrabel's. The fact that he's given you how many steps Treylon Burks took in practice this week and his top miles per hour, that's pretty amazing. And Mike Vrabel was good to the media. He just, sometimes if he didn't want to answer something, he wouldn't answer it.
Right.
He was not going to give you details on things that he didn't feel like he needed to give you details on. I think fans will become more interested in what Brian Callahan says because he's actually saying real things when he's talking to you. And we'll see whether or not that really is the case, right? Like, they can hype up Treylon Burks all they want, but he might get 5 snaps in week 1. Like, I don't know, right? And we'll see what he looks like after a loss. But I'm encouraged by just how much we are going to get from this coaching staff every time they talk.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest point.
It's good for us.
It's really good for us.
Hell yeah.
Look at all the audio we have today. I mean, you could go on for hours.
Hell yeah. I was listening to him
4 hours
like,
specifically.
Right.
I'm like, does he understand that he's like, not in a bad way, but like he's open and just honest as much as he can, as much as we know, to your point, Will. Like, he can say all he wants to about him, but we got to see the results. Don't believe what they say, watch what they do. And I was just encouraged, number one, you know what I'm saying, like, by him saying this doesn't diminish Treylon. I say the biggest win for this team is for however it happens, Treylon turns into a number 2. Yep. You're stacked and ready for next year. You're layered in how you sign guys. You got Calvin for a few. You still got 2 years under Treylon's contract before you got to make a decision on him. And then from there, you might only have to draft 1 wide receiver or get a second rounder plus a later rounder late. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing free agent sweepstakes every offseason if you have that type of balance on him. And again, I know Treylon's got a lot to prove. But hearing this coach say, man, this dude ran 22 miles per hour, I thought he was
the details that went into all that. I was like, you didn't have to give all that.
22 miles per hour? I don't think we understand how fast that is. Like, 22 miles per hour is getting it for a guy like that.
He also
At his size.
Right. He also, by the way, remember, Tyler Boyd is not official. That is not an official signing yet. A lot of times, the coaches aren't going to talk about him at all. But he did us all a favor, even though he made it clear this isn't official yet. He still answered a few questions about Tyler Boyd, so at least we could talk about what they think about him, although it's not official. I thought that's so different too. I'm not
same way. Rand Carthon answered a question from us about Calvin Ridley on the show before the Ridley deal.
That's right.
I know.
Here is that answer from Brian Callahan on Tyler Boyd, and essentially takes this question about Boyd and Burks to a cool place talking about Treylon.
Not official yet. Hasn't signed the papers in general, just to put that out there to start. That'll be official sooner than later, but not quite yet. But Tyler is a slot receiver. That's what he does. That's where he's made his money. That's where his production has come from. He's a fantastic slot receiver on top of it. Most importantly, I think he's a awesome addition to the locker room. He's a great human being, great worker, and everything about him is what we want to be about. And so to add him is really is an impactful add for us, and excited about it. As far as Treylon's role, he's going to play everything. We've told him that from the beginning. He's going to play inside, he's going to play outside, and he's going to carve out a role for himself. And I had him come up today and do the break after practice because his work that he's put in has been really impressive. Just to give you guys some context, Tuesdays are our harder days of our 4-day work week. It's a really heavy day, and so the load on the players is high. And what I mean by that is both acceleration, max speeds, and yardage. And so Treylon, I think, ran 3,591 yards on Tuesday, and then hit our top speed and team-leading top speed at 22.6 miles an hour in practice. So super impressive workload and performance. And so he's had a really good offseason. I'm excited about what he can bring for us. I meant when I said that the other day that I think he's going to have a role to play.
Ramon, do you think players pay attention to comments like that in the media? Like, will Treylon Burks know before he goes to bed last night? Oh, wow, Brian Callahan was out there giving my stats from practice to the media.
100%. It's been going on for a while. Guys see, and especially even more now because those same people probably are, adding him, mentioning him in their tweets and Instagrams and TikToks and stuff like that. Yeah, Will, I'm more than sure he goes in today or if he's off today, and it makes him go even harder. Those types of things right there. Everybody needs a little confirmation, right? A little affirmation. Hey, you are doing good. And I think it's fair also in the beginning where we question, hey, they left Traylon out of their conversation. And that's the thing about coaches. Coaches have to be able to see and believe what a player is sometimes, too. Like when they didn't mention him as one of those players earlier, and it may have been because of perception. I've had coaches have a perception of guys before to where they had a mindset about them. And it was like, man, you aren't what they said you were. And I think it was fair for Traylon to put in the work and show the coaching staff that he's capable of being a part of this offense moving forward. I thought that was very genuine and great on his role.
By the way, he didn't have to divulge all that information also about the hardest work day of the week. Like that it was crazy just to be able to go into specifics on that. But on the note of Traylon, and I know we'll get to Will Levis in a minute, but one of the things that I really loved hearing from Will Levis without saying Traylon Burke's name or Kyle Phillips' name was he answered a question about making his wide receivers better. And the first thing he did is there's a lot of talk of, when you make an ad that automatically, puts people in the department of thinking other guys are out. And he said, that is my job to make them feel like they are going to get better in this offense under me, right? And I thought that was a really cool thing for Will Levis to say too, when he was specifically talking about a couple certain guys.
Bill Callahan finally gave us what he wants in an offensive lineman in his first opportunity to speak to the media, and he wants physicality.
I think that the physicality of their play is always important, and that's kind of in the DNA, like I mentioned. So that part of playing hard, playing with tempo, being physical, has always been there. For these kids, and it's a matter of tweaking techniques, giving them a couple different tools in terms of schemes, hands, things of that nature, just try to build them up and build them a different toolbox.
Different toolbox. Ramon, when you watch those linemen, what do you think he means by that specifically?
A different toolbox. Having the ability, he brings up the physical side of it more than anything. I think if you look at that O-line last year, what was the identity? One, they really didn't have one. Having the ability to make sure they are physical, number one, is uber important. Set the tone. Don't be a nail. Be the hammer. Those are the types of things that he'll say to them. And then just the overall technique of it, too, Will. If you look at the group over the last couple of years, look at how their technique looked. Nobody was saved by any technique. We couldn't say, those combo blocks are really good. We couldn't say, those guys are really good at zone blocking. We couldn't say the pass blocking of this group was good. Of the good offensive lines in the league, you can say Dallas has really good run blocking, do they? Yes, they do. You'll say as far as the Eagles go, they're really good at pass setting. You can see the techniques show on film. Those guys don't look like they have many tools in their toolbox. The way they play on Sundays, there's no cohesion with them. There's no physicality at a high level that they display week in and week out. It was almost just if they were surviving. If you really sit back and look at the course of the games, it was, we get a play here, we get a play there. There's been hardly any dominance as it pertains to watching this group roll out the ball and just beat people up over the last few years. Like Derek has done his thing, and they've had 1,000-yard rushers on top of that. But again, the idea that they've closed out games and beat people up, those are the things that Bill Callahan is suggesting that this group do moving forward. And the first thing that he mentioned being physicality, imagine what he saw on tape. Even our fan base saw it, right? Man, these dudes are getting beat up. This guy's a turnstile. You can't have that be the case. When it boils down to how you want to be as a team, man. It is I'm super excited to see what OTAs is going to look like. It's probably going to get a little physical. Camp is probably going to be a little hard, especially most times with a year one coach anyway. Camp is brutal for year one coaches. But I'm happy, though, too, because all the analytical stuff that Brian Callahan brought up with Traylon Burks let you know that they are on top of the GPS of guys, the workload that they're putting on guys, too. So as hard as they're going to go, I'm sure they'll have rest days in between to let guys recover.
That was something also that the new strength and conditioning staff had mentioned, too, about how closely they are working with Brian Callahan in terms of those types of practices and making sure, especially these newbies coming in, that you can't just go hard, right, the whole entire time. Like there's days that they're working these practices of high, medium, low, that type of thing. With Bill Callahan, though, on that note, I just found it awesome, too, that just this guy can recall so much. Like he's been in the league, he's been in college football, like he's been in the game so long. And when asked about just some examples, right, in terms of J.C. Latham switching over to left tackle and what he expects out of that. Like he could just sit there and list all the guys that he's worked with in the past. And one specific that he continued to bring up was Jedrick Willis, the Alabama tackle that converted from right to left over in Cleveland. He said he's not the same type of player by any means, but we did these types of things to get him to that level, and obviously it was successful. So it's just, I think you're so confident in what he does, not just because we're saying it, but he has actual proven cases of doing this in the past with these specific tackles. It's really a luxury what they have right now in Bill Callahan. I just can't wait to see some of these guys, hopefully some of these guys transform before our eyes.
And here is that quote from Bill Callahan. We have the audio of him saying that about J.C. Latham and about his right tackles on the roster.
Yeah, I think, number one, his athleticism. And then, of course, all the measurable traits that he has. And then you add in size, power, strength. And it adds up, to making that move. Very similar in my experience at Dallas when I had Tyron Smith when I came into the Cowboys. He was a right tackle in college. He was a right tackle his rookie year, and we flipped him over. And I think that worked out pretty well. And then Jedrick Wills, when he was drafted out of Alabama for the Browns, was a right tackle in college. We flipped him. And another guy in my past was Barry Sims from the Raiders. He was a tackle out of Utah, who we found in the World League at that time, which no longer exists. But he ended up making that switch to left tackle as well. So I think if you have the athleticism, and you have strength, I think, and you have the muscle memory to, change some skill sets, I think it's doable.
Do you have any doubts about his ability to do it?
I don't.
What do you see in the right tackle candidates that are here on the roster right now in terms of, Nicholas Petit-Ferrer and Jalen Duncan and Watson, who coached in Cleveland?
Well, they're all here. They're all working hard. I think, to begin with in spring, when you're coming into a new system, new coaches, I'm just evaluating, assessing, trying to help these guys learn a whole new different toolbox than they're accustomed to. I think they're exceptional hard workers. And that's great. That's a good start for us. But then how it plays out, I think we'll wait. I'll kind of be a little bit more reserved on my judgment until we get into training camp and we get a chance to see them in the preseason when the live bullets start flying. But right now, it's all positive. The guys are working hard. They're learning some new sets, different angles, different strikes, things of that nature, that can help their game.
There is Titans O-line coach Bill Callahan. Coming up next, I've got a cautionary tale for Titans fans. Because if we are comparing J.C. Latham to Tyron Smith, then we need to set expectations for him as a rookie. That's coming up next. Hey, what's up? It's Will Bowling. Summer is right around the corner. And as the weather begins to warm up, Lee Company has your back to make sure your home's air conditioning is working efficiently. Look, summer might be already here, right? Overnight, sometimes we're getting up into these high temperatures. Well, one of Lee Company's expert technicians, they will perform a 22-point inspection as well as seasonal cleaning and maintenance to help you stay ahead of the changing weather. And in Middle Tennessee, it's going to change quickly. Thanks to their visual findings platform, Lee Company's professional team virtually shows you exactly what they see in addition to updates and information on your unit's efficiency. You got to cross this one off your spring to-do list today. Call Lee Company at 615-567-1000, or you can visit them online, leecompany.com. Their website is great. Go to leecompany.com/promotions, and you're going to get $20 off your air conditioning tune-up today. That's 615-567-1000, online at leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. In the 22 years he has spent as an NFL offensive line coach, Bill Callahan has 14 offensive linemen who have been selected to 35 Pro Bowls. It's Ramon, Kalen, Will, brewed up by 8th and Rose, wrap it up hour number 1. You just heard Bill Callahan, Titans O-line coach, tell the media that he sees some Tyron Smith in J.C. Latham. Okay, well, I think we would all absolutely sign up for that today for his whole career. But as a rookie, even Tyron Smith sucked. In 16 games at right tackle as a rookie, Tyron Smith gave up 8 sacks. In his next to last game that season, guys, he had a 29.6 PFF grade. That is Andre Dillard bad. Literally, Andre Dillard level bad. In 2012, in his second season, he allowed 3 sacks. And in 2013, as Ramon always says, year 3, get me to year 3. He gave up 1 sack and 3 total hits on the quarterback, Tyron Smith.
At left.
So even though J.C. Latham is being compared to Tyron Smith, when it's week 6 and he gives up a sack to Daniil Hunter, he's terrible. This guy, they drafted a right tackle. They're trying to move it. Deep breaths, guys. Deep breaths.
Yeah, I think realistic expectations are something we all need to have with this team, with this position in specific, because this is the one that clearly needs some of the most help. And we don't know, some of these guys that are remaining on the roster in terms of the line, we don't know what was or what was not developed in them in the last few years or the last couple seasons. So there might be a lot that you have to start from scratch in a way. And so I think you have to give Bill Callahan, as great as I think he will be, you have to give him a little bit of grace to kind of get these guys all on the right path. And you're right, Will, there's going to be bumps in the road. There's definitely going to be games where you're going to get frustrated because a J.C. Latham as a rookie, allowed a certain amount of sacks, like you said, or maybe the technique wasn't as good as you needed it to be. But those are things I think over time, it's just going to get better and better and more cohesive. But let's not freak out the first few games of the season when things might not look exactly what you want them to look like, because that's a lot of work they're coming in and doing when it comes to rejuvenating the line.
You somewhat hear some of the stuff that Bill Callahan is saying, talking about they're trying out new techniques, they're trying out hand placement, they're trying these types of things out. I got a feeling he's molding them into what he wants them to be as pros, and it seems as if those guys are ingesting and learning a lot, which could also mean there's a lot of trial and error and ups and downs over this process. Bert, if you could, at some point, you might want to save Will's introduction into Tyron Smith, too, just as soon as we get to camp. Okay, in the first preseason game, hey, Will, what was that you said on May 10th, 2024? This is a process.
I'm going to keep that saved in our show Google Doc.
Yeah.
And that you're like my annoyed Titans fan voice there of, if he gives up, what are we doing? I don't know why that's, it's like Kermit the Frog on steroids.
But to your point, though, it's only been like a few guys that's jumped out on the scene as far as tackles. There was immediate success. I think Joe Thomas had a good rookie year. We went through this, I feel like, before. Mm-hmm. We spoke on the pathway of when guys get good. It is, to your point, and it sucks because you need to see immediate results. It's about 3 years, and we said that's one of those positions where we were talking about in the pre-draft, right? Do you get a wide receiver? Do you get a tackle? Wide receiver, you can immediately see what you have because the production of catching passes is there. For a tackle, to your point, it's going to take time.
And I even would use the example of maybe somebody who did it at a higher increase of time. His rookie year was DeJuan Jones, when he wasn't even expected to be a starter and had to be kind of thrown into the mix. But what happened with that process, again, I go back to Mary Kay Cabot because I think that interview we had with her was really good, but she described how hard Bill Callahan was on DeJuan Jones. There were times when DeJuan Jones wanted to throw in the hat. I think literally threw his helmet in practice one day because he was so frustrated. And Bill said, you either figure it out or you don't. And to credit DeJuan Jones, he did. But that also then relates to these players. Are they going to be able to handle that and take that approach, and make themselves better? We'll see.
Yeah, DeJuan Jones, 3 sacks allowed and 710 snaps at right tackle last year. Pretty good.
That ain't bad.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny the mailman is on the phone lines. You can join us at 615-737-1045. What's up, Kenny?
Hello, good friends. How are y'all?
Great. How are you?
Kenny.
Excellent. It's a great day to deliver mail. I'm ready to go.
Love it.
Ramon, I've always wanted to ask you this. You had just a special honor of reaching in your locker every week and pulling out one of the greatest uniforms ever and putting it on the extra wide stripe on the pants, the decal on just on one side. When you looked at that, you knew what team it was. What happened one time a year when you had to pull out a jersey that made you look like a 300-pound bumblebee? That's awful throwback. Give me the behind the scenes. Did your teammates like it? Did they not like it? I mean, it was bad. It messed up the vertical hold on my TV.
Hey,
that was a good day.
Kenny, you ain't lying, Kenny.
Hey, man, when did Kenny start coming out of left field?
There was too much Steelers love. He had me in the first half. I ain't gonna lie.
He had me. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool right here. Kenny comes in, man, with the Thor hammer at the end.
Did y'all like the Bumblebee jersey?
Yeah, we did. Ugh. You always like the alternative jerseys.
I think they're tough. And I do not like the Steelers. I think the Bumblebees are tough.
Everybody, think about most teams the players love alternative jerseys. Like you just do. I got one hanging up in my house.
Alternative jerseys.
Alternate.
That was sure an alternate.
We've been giving practice stats this morning on Traylon Burks. Robert Walsh actually has some practice stats of Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
Yeah, I've got some practice stats. Ramon, we have for this week 8 that's crazies. 4 you used to be better than this, and 12 we can jump them if you want to.
What else, Chuck?
What else,
Bert?
All right, thanks, Bert Callahan.
He's been working really hard, guys.
And how fast has the speed been getting in and out of the studio?
I'm telling you, he has been moving. He looks very agile.
Bert actually told me earlier he clocked me at 1.6 miles per hour shuffling from my car to the studio this morning.
Get him, Will. Hey, dog. I don't even want to know how many A-dogs I got. That's a crutch of mine, too.
Wait, did we get that stat?
No, we didn't get that one. He probably
43 A-dogs. That's just today. We're in the first hour.
Incredible.
I hate you, man.
Coming up, we have got your chance to win a Mother's Day gift bag from A Moment's Peace just in time for Mother's Day. That is coming up in about 5 minutes. And we'll hear what Tyke Tolbert had to say. He had an outstanding quote about Traylon Burks in addition to what Brian Callahan said as well. Coming up next.
Summer is right around the corner, friends, and you want to make sure you're feeling good. It's not a great time of year to be dealing with that joint pain, as so many of us do. You can't go outdoors doing the stuff you love to do, hiking, biking, playing with the kids at the beach. Hey, it's Kayla Anderson. Listen, don't go through the summer months missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joint. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. Listen, this is the future of medicine, and tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients would agree. Around the country, they're living their best life because they simply made the call. It's that easy. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup. He actually started as an orthopedic surgeon and then became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. And boom, here we are now, and it's an easy way to do it. Free consultation. You just need to call him 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024.
What's going on? Happy Friday. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock in the 104.5 The Zone studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans have started the process of signing their draft picks, most of them later round picks, but signings nonetheless, as Jarvis Brownlee, Jaquan Jackson, James Williams, and Jalen Harrell have all signed their rookie contracts. Bill Callahan spoke to the after rookie minicamp yesterday and had this to say about which position the Titans could still be targeting in free agency.
Yeah, there's definitely room to add, and those conversations are ongoing. You know, there's still players out there where the free agency isn't over, and there's still conversations with agents, conversations with players. That stuff continues. So we're looking to add an edge down there. We need guys that can play with some physicality, that want to. They look and sound like Denard, as you guys listen to Denard. That's what we're looking for.
NBA playoffs last night, Cavs tied up the series with the Celtics, winning 118-94. Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley combining for 50 points. And the Mavs laying the first loss of the playoffs on the Thunder, 119-110. Luka and P.J. Washington both had 29-point double-doubles. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m. on a beautiful day in beautiful Music City, USA. RKW is brewed up by 8th and Roast. On the phone lines at 615-737-1045. Streaming live with our Faces for Radio on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. That is what we call 104.5 The Zone TV. Coming up in 20 minutes, Brent Hubbs of VolQuest. And on 3... talk a little bit of Tennessee Vandy, some Vols football recruiting, and we've got to get our latest update on the Chaz Lanier saga as well, because it seems like we've got to just check in on that every week.
Yeah, we do.
With our good friend Brent Hubbs. We've got a chance for you to get Mom a nice gift, and I love using a moment's piece. I have gifted this before. It always goes over well. We've got your chance to win right now. So call in 615-737-1045 to win a Mom's Day gift bag that includes a $40 gift card from our friends at A Moment's Piece just in time for Mother's Day. What better way to thank Mom than with a little time to herself away from you? With gifts from A Moment's Piece, a day spa or salon and day spa. All the moms in your life will love it. 615-737-1045. And look, you can just tell Bert that you've already gotten something. You don't have to tell on yourself as not having a gift for Mom yet. 615-737-1045. Call in for your chance to win a gift bag from A Moment's Piece for Mother's Day.
There you go. That's a great gift. Great little spa that they have there. You could put that towards anything, right? Mm-hmm. A massage, a facial, maybe some products for your mom. Man. So remember, Mother's Day is on Sunday. I already ordered my flowers, so I'm good to go.
Nice.
They're being delivered on Saturday, just so she knows. Just a little bit ahead of time, right?
Set her up real nice.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Moment of peace is all any mom or dad want on their special day anyway. Like, what do you want for Mother's Day? Peace.
Moment of peace.
For you to leave the room, please.
Leave the room. You're not needed now.
Mm-hmm.
Tyke Tolbert yesterday, Tennessee Titans wide receivers coach, had a great quote on Traylon Burks. I thought this was interesting about the top 30 visit Tyke Tolbert had with Traylon when he was the wide receivers coach of the Chicago Bears. Obviously, the Brian Callahan answer about the top speed that Traylon hit, the steps that he took in practice will garner a lot of the headlines, but I thought this was an equally insightful answer from the wide receivers coach of the Titans.
Really impressed with Traylon up to this point. You hear things when you come into a new situation about guys and what happened with the past and all that stuff. And I told all those guys, you got a fresh set of eyes on you. And Traylon has done everything and more we've asked of him. Traylon is a guy that this offseason, he's probably the only guy, I think, maybe one other guy on our team, from a receiver standpoint, he's the only guy that's played 3 positions. I'm forcing him to learn all the positions, all the concepts, because you never know where he can line up. He can be outside, be inside. So he's really taken, a hold of that. He studies at night. He asks me questions. He's really good. I'm really surprised, or pleased, not that it's surprised, pleased with his progress. He's getting better every day. Every day we've been out here, he's done something and gotten better every single day. I like his explosion. He's got really good ball skills. And again, he's learning all 3 positions. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work with him and see how he can help us in the fall.
Based on his skill set, what in your mind is the best version of Traylon? How do you get the best version of him out on the field?
Well, again, that's a work in progress. And I've only been around a couple weeks right now. But being able for him to play outside and inside, he's really strong. When he's running a route and he cuts, pieces of the turf comes up out of the ground. So he's got a powerful plant when he plants and separates. So that's good. And like I mentioned, his ball skills are really good. So I didn't really know how well it was until I got here and saw it in person. But I just remember, again, all the things you hear about a certain guy when you come in,